Guys, I just watched this conference in the Oval Office. Donald Trump, I would say it's not that far away from the latest South Park episode. I mean, real life is a show. Just look at what will happen here.
Family here to enjoy this event.
America welcomes the world.
Yes.
And I can really, from the collaboration that we have, testify for that. Absolutely. Thank you.
And I was just sent a picture from somebody that wants to be there very badly.
He said wants to be there very badly. It means that Putin wants to be at the World Cup, which will go in North America.
He's been very respectful of me and of our country, but not so respectful of others. But he'll, I'm going to sign this for him, but I was sent one, and I thought you'd all like to see it. That's a man named Vladimir Putin, who I believe will be coming, depending on what happens. He may be coming and he may not, depending on what happens. We have a lot of things happening over the next couple of weeks. But I thought it was a nice picture of him. Okay of me, but nice of him. So that was very nice that it was sent to me. Okay.
He literally has his picture with Putin in his table. Picture of a war criminal and Donald Trump. But for Donald Trump, in his head, Putin is equal, you know, it's his level. He is dictator, he rules Russia, nuclear superpower, you know, ex-Soviet Union and so on. Trump is sick, my friends. Trump is totally insane. He is sick, and it is understandable from this entire press conference which I streamed on my trash channel. And again, he said about 2 weeks, and it was minutes before a reporter asked him about American freaking company and their warehouse and office which was hit by Russian missiles 2 days ago. And I told about it, reporters told about it. And what was Trump's reaction? So the question from reporter was, have you spoke with Putin about American factory that was attacked by Russia not long time ago? Trump answered, I told him that I am not satisfied. That's it. That's the only reaction of American president on devastation of American factory in Ukraine. And just recall this mineral deal, then Donald Trump and JD Vance and all of that bullshit comedy club, they say, oh, American business will be in Ukraine if you sign this mineral deal with us, so we will protect our business there. So just 2 days ago, American business was attacked and Donald Trump has absolutely zero reaction. Like, I'm not satisfied, we'll see. Again, he mentioned about 2 weeks. Putin, by the way, also held a press conference where he stated that Russia hadn't started the war. It is all Western propaganda. And Russia wants to finish the war, which Ukraine started against Donbass in 2014 or 2014. Yeah, absolute bullshitter as usual. And guys, he wants war. He's very comfortable in this environment. And despite all of the problems with the Russian economy, this shit will continue the war. Mind my words, guys. He's not going to turn back. He is very comfortable in this environment. First of all, because he's well respected by Donny, by everyone. Everyone wants to know what Putin thinks, what Putin says. And imagine him being just a peaceful president of Russia. He would not be so interesting for anyone. He likes this attention. He's like this Donald Trump with narcissism and crazy psycho behavior. The only difference that Trump doesn't want to use military force so far, all around, but Putin is using it already. Any sort of the peace agreements are not possible with Putin, and Donny doesn't understand that. Well, maybe he understands, but he plays fool. For him, Russia is the mighty state with a real leader, dictator Putin, and Ukraine is just an obstacle, you know. And Trump's yesterday's post that Ukraine is unable to be victorious just in defense, it means that Ukraine should surrender. It is not about that Ukraine should attack Russia, no. Ukraine needs to surrender to Russia. And we have some information coming from the White House officials that Trump thinks and says in his circle that Ukraine should agree on Russia's demand. There is no way out for Ukraine because Russia, in the eyes of Donald Trump, is the mighty power compared to Ukraine. And you cannot fight against the mighty power. Who are you there? Russia always wins in a history of wars. That is what Russia told to Davydov, brainwashing him. And he's like this SpongeBob absorbing all of the information very easily. So FSB did a very well job with Davydov, with Donny himself. This is crazy what is happening, guys. Yeah, the Wall Street Journal writes that Trump's behind-the-scenes push for Ukraine peace deal has stalled. What a surprise. The initial optimism has faded as uncertainty grows. The optimism was just in the head of Donald Trump, which was transferred all around, supported by those European leaders. For what? I don't know the reason. What's about the meeting between Zelensky and Putin? Let's expedite a little Lavrov because he speaks slowly.
President Putin said clearly that he is ready to meet, provided this meeting is really going to have an agenda, presidential agenda.
So that's a big if. There's no meeting planned, Mr. Foreign Minister. That's a big if. You're saying there's no meeting planned right now.
Kristen, I'm awfully sorry. You're not listening. There is no meeting planned, and I'm not challenging this. But you cannot, I think, understand what I'm saying. Putin is ready to meet with Zelensky when the agenda would be ready for a summit. And this agenda is not ready at all. President Trump suggested, after Anchorage, several points which we share. And on some of them, we agreed to show some flexibility.
Okay.
When President Trump brought those issues to the meeting in Washington, with Zelensky present together with his European sponsors, he clearly indicated, it was very clear to everybody that there are several principles which Washington believes must be accepted, including no NATO membership, including the discussion of territorial issues. And Zelensky said no to everything. He even said no to, as I said, to canceling legislation prohibiting the Russian language. How can we meet with a person who is pretending to be a leader?
Yeah, I took it from the Russian channels. So you understand the Russian agenda, that there is no agenda for meeting, and they push Ukraine not for even canceling the legislation against the Russian language because it doesn't exist in Ukraine. No, it's the bullshit from Lavrov. And by the way, he was so rude with the reporter. The idea that Russia wants to implement their Russian language in Ukraine, and there will be a solo language, Ukrainian in Ukraine, as the official one, because we see what happened to Belarus. Belarus language simply doesn't exist or exist in minority groups because Russian language overwhelmed everything. I started to speak about the language because it was the obvious lies from Lavrov that Ukraine has some sort of the legislation against Russian or whatever language. No, it doesn't have. And the territorial issue Lavrov mentioned is basically Russia pushing for Ukraine to give up Donbass at least. And Ukraine will never ever do it. It is understandable. But this is the Russian agenda, as Lavrov mentioned. So if Ukraine agrees on everything of that, in this case, Putin will meet Zelensky, or they will meet together in neutral territory. So you with your freaking meeting, Russia. By the way, Viktor Orban wrote the message to Donald Trump complaining about Ukrainian strikes on pipeline Druzhba. And I think this paper is legit. It was shared by American media at first. Viktor, I don't like hearing this. I am very angry about it. Tell Slovakia you are my great friend, Donald. But actually, pipeline station was kaputted, and I don't know, then Russia will fix everything of that. It might take at least several months. If you want to know more, guys, this morning I filmed a video especially about that stuff. The drone strike on Druzhba pipeline. It seems like Donny is not reading his favorite New York Post any longer. They scream what to do, put in the pressure on. No reaction, just sharing pictures with his lover, which is really bizarre. Like Donald Trump is digging himself down, and Putin understands that he does everything well. Before that summit in Alaska, Donald Trump was telling to Putin, you need to cease fire, otherwise there will be strict sanctions applied on you. But after their meeting in Alaska, there is no longer even demand from Donald Trump to cease fire. And during meeting with Zelensky and European leaders, Trump said, no ceasefire. We are speaking now about long-term peace on Russian demands, let's say. Guys, this is surreal. It's a bad dream, but it's the reality, and I'm shocked about it, honestly. However, if you open my videos from 2024, I expected this scenario to happen if Donald Trump is elected, and he is the president. Very stupid president. The most incompetent president, I guess, in the history of the United States of America. And yeah, Putin already said that he expects the full-scale restorations of the relations with the United States of America. Yeah, that is what he counts on. Putin, Russia is discussing the possibility of cooperation with the United States in the Arctic and Alaska. That's what they want to do, business as usual, but let me tell you one thing, the Arctic stuff is overestimated, especially if we speak about logistics. It's simply not possible. I think I should film a separate video dedicated to this specific topic, that all of that is mostly Russians' hoax. Wow, this is big. FBI agents raided the former Trump's national security advisor John Bolton's home in a classified documents probe reviewed by FBI Director Kash Patel. So basically they're chasing those who do not agree with Donald Trump's policy. Yeah, if Bolton was proactive, it would be possible to even impeach Donald Trump at some point, but now it backfires for him as well. And I've told it already on stream, guys, I don't honestly see the multi-branch power in the United States of America. As for me, the side viewer on those events, everything is happening according to the Trump's will, and only like that. Well, maybe after midterm elections something could change, but for now I see that country turns into a dictatorship, or maybe partially turned already. So they're pretty much calm about Epstein case. Today, by the way, Donald Trump was asked that question too. He said that his involvement in that is just a hoax made by Democrats, but at the same time FBI works really hard chasing witches, right? Yeah, Kash Patel tweeted, "No one is above the law. FBI agents on mission. It's about Bolton's case and people comment, unless you're an orange-painted predator whose name is all over the Epstein files." Release the files, Kash Patel. Why are you not doing so? Come on. No one is above the law after all. Right? That's the idiocracy shit show happening in the United States of America, better than any sort of the advertisement, but the sad part that it is our reality. Oh guys, what a tough video really, then I need to analyze those politicians. Guys, please check out my latest updates from the front lines, because we have fantastic news. Here Ukraine expands the counterattack, liberating one more village for today, and will liberate more, believe me. We have the drone video confirmation, but Russia also takes the ground in some of the areas. Also hear about the Russian fuel crisis and the Druzhba pipeline that was hit with evidence video. Plus, guys, we are almost there, reaching 900,000 subscribers, and we are just 144 subscribers away from this major goal on the channel, so please subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed for the channel. And also, if you want to support the job that I do here, follow me on Patreon. The link for it is in the video description just below. Thank you so much for your kind support and motivation. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.